Hi Savvy Sales community, welcome to part 2 of this video series. I'm glad you came back. In this video, you're going to learn the key strategy to cause a sense of urgency with the prospect. So keep watching. Hi, I'm Harrington, the Savvy Sales Lady, your personal YouTube sales coach. In this series, we're in part 2. Now in part 1, if you remember, you learned about tip number 1, never ever hang up when you get the prospect's voice message and why. If you haven't watched that yet, I'm going to suggest that you watch part 1 first, then come back. And then you learned about tip 2. What's your plan to get a response? And I give you the tips that I use. Tip number 3, mix up your voice messages. Here's what I do, and I suggest you try this too. And by the way, I've tried something new and I'm really excited to share it with you. I'll tell you all about it when we get to that part. So keep watching because it's good. So, if I place a cold call on Monday and I get a voice message, I'll leave a message to let the prospect know when I'll be calling back. And it might sound like this. Now I'm going to read it because I read scripts. Hi John, this is Harrington, the Savvy Sales Lady. And I smile when I'm doing my scripts too. I'm showing you exactly how I read my scripts. I'll start over. Hi John, this is Harrington, the Savvy Sales Lady. The reason for my call is if you have 5 minutes, I can give you 3 examples where my sales training increased sales by 30%. I just worked with ABC Company and they increased sales by 34%. Since you're unavailable right now to take my call, I'll give you a call back on Thursday at 2 p.m. Hopefully you'll be available to take my call then. My number is, and then I leave my number twice, slowly. Now, every time you leave a message for the same prospect, you're going to want to leave a different value proposition. And it's the same way with email as well. You don't want to be leaving the same voice message or sending the same email. So now we're moving on to tip 4, the last but most important tip, and that's your voicemail and email drip strategy. On day 1, leave a voice message and let the prospect know the day and time you'll be calling him back. Then on that day at 8 a.m. in the morning, you're going to send the prospect a reminder email letting him know what time you will be calling that day as a courtesy reminder. You'll repeat this sequence 4 times if you have not heard back from the prospect. And remember, every voice message you leave in the sequence and every email will have a different value proposition. You're only going to leave 1 per voicemail and per email. And this can take place over a span of 3 to 4 weeks. So here's the best part, and here's what's different, and that's the 5th and final voice message. So let's say that you've not gotten a response from your last 4 voice messages or email. So will you do what every other salesperson does and just stop calling, just quit altogether? Well, I'm going to suggest that you tell the prospect that you are going to stop calling. I want you to hear the message first and then you'll see why. Hi John, this is Harrington, the Savvy Sales Lady. The reason for my call is I've tried to reach you several times to discuss ABC. I've not heard back from you, so it seems this is a really busy time for you. I don't want to be a pest, so I'll put this on hold and won't call back until maybe after the 1st of the year. However, if you've been meaning to call me, You can reach me still by text, phone, or email. My phone number is, and then I leave my phone number again slowly. Why is this step so important? Because as I said, most salespeople will just give up. They don't tell the prospect they won't be calling back. Psychologically, when you pull back from the prospect and tell him you will not be calling anymore, it creates within them a sense of urgency, especially if they've been meaning to get back to you. That's the way our brains are wired, to want something that we can no longer have. Now, I've tested this. I always test things before I bring them to you to suggest as a strategy. And it works. No, it didn't work every time, but it sure worked enough times that I wanted to bring this strategy to you so you can try it too. And the final piece to both of these videos is at the end of this video. That's where you'll be able to click a downloadable checklist of the essential phone call checklist that I personally use, and I want you to have it too. It also includes the scripts that you have heard in both of these videos. This checklist will really help you to come up with a strategy and tasks to make your phone calls more successful. Now, full disclosure here, I will ask for your email in exchange for the free checklist. You will automatically be put on my newsletter list so you can get my newsletter, Sales Pearls, that goes out every Wednesday. And it has even more tips and videos that you won't find on YouTube. Now, if it's not your cup of tea, you can easily unsubscribe. I don't spam because I don't like to be spammed. Now, that's my shameless plug for my newsletter, Sales Pearls. And I'll get to the end so you can download the essential phone call checklist. And as I said, it includes the scripts too. So, will you give me a thumbs up if you're willing to try these tips so I'll know? And remember, sales is a journey. It's not a quick trip around the block. See you on the next video. Bye-bye.